Hi, my name is Ferdi, and I'm the founder of the Virtual Hacking Labs and author of the IoT Penetration Testing Essentials course. In this brief presentation, I will explain how the Virtual Hacking Labs IoT Penetration Testing Essentials exam is structured and how it works. Before we start with the presentation, let's have a brief look at the presentation agenda. In the upcoming 10 minutes, we will cover the following subjects after the introduction. We'll start with a brief look at the Virtual Hacking Labs IoT Penetration Testing Essentials course, followed by the exam structure. Then, we'll cover the documents that will be produced as a result of the exam, which are the pre-assessment evaluation, the security assessment report, and the vulnerability report. We'll conclude the presentation with some practical exam information. The Virtual Hacking Labs IoT Penetration Testing Essentials course is the latest addition to the VHL course portfolio. This course teaches you how to perform penetration testing and security research on IoT devices. The course starts with the basics and extends to a level where you can effectively perform penetration tests and security research on IoT devices to identify and discover vulnerabilities. The course consists of 19 modules with over 170 lessons and is still expanding. The course has case studies with real-world examples and practical assignments that you can perform on your local machine. The certification exam will be available in July 2025 and consists of a practical and reporting part. The exam for the IoT Penetration Testing Essentials course guides you through performing a security assessment on an IoT device. The methodology used aligns with the course content and reflects my personal approach to testing IoT devices and discovering zero-day vulnerabilities. The exam is divided into two parts. The practical part, where you perform the actual security assessment on the IoT device, and the reporting part, where you document your findings and present them in a structured report. During the exam, all necessary materials are provided to carry out the security assessment, including device images, measurements, data captures, and firmware dumps. The result of the exam consists of three parts: the pre-assessment evaluation with initial information about the security test, the security assessment report with all details of the security assessment, the vulnerability report with details about one of the findings. The final result of the exam consists of two documents: the security assessment report and the vulnerability report. Let's go through each part in more detail. The pre-assessment evaluation contains initial information about the security test, such as the identified components in the ecosystem, identified risks based on the product type, legislation and standards that apply to the device, and potential health and safety risks when working with the target device. For the pre-assessment evaluation, you can refer to the general information provided in the case file. Let's continue with the next document, the security assessment document. In this document, you will record the results of your security assessment of the IoT device for this exam. The provided template document includes a chapter structure for the final report, which you can complete with detailed information of the findings yourself. Each section outlines the objectives of each assessment along with a brief description of what is expected in the final report. For every part of the report, aim to document your findings clearly and concisely in line with the stated objectives. If anything is unclear, do your best to meet the intended requirements as much as possible. The Security Assessment Report contains the following chapters. The Device Information chapter contains general information about the IoT device. The Pre-Assessment chapter contains general information about the security test. The Software Assessment chapter contains a review of the software and vulnerabilities. The Hardware Assessment chapter contains a review of the hardware. The communication analysis chapter contains a review of the serial communication of the device. The firmware dump analysis chapter contains a review of the dumped device firmware. The static firmware analysis chapter contains a static review of the device firmware. The dynamic firmware analysis chapter contains a dynamic review of the device firmware. The findings chapter contains a summary of your findings and a conclusion. All the information and files required to complete your report are available in the LMS exam environment. There you'll find images, documents, files, and measurements necessary to carry out the security assessment. Finally, it's important to present the results of your security assessment clearly and concisely. Assume your audience is technically knowledgeable and familiar with the subject matter, so in-depth explanations about tools and techniques are not required. Also, make sure that your report is written in your own words and not generated using AI tools that tend to over-explain details or use excessive wording. Keep your writing clear, concise, and to the point. The last document you will be creating as part of the exam is a vulnerability report for one of the findings. The vulnerability report contains information about the discovered vulnerability in the IoT device, an impact analysis, a write-up on the discovered vulnerability, and remediation options to fix or mitigate the security issue. Now that you're familiar with the contents of the exam, let's go over a few practical details. The IoT Penetration Testing Essentials exam is not only a final assignment that tests your knowledge and practical skills, but also a valuable learning experience designed to help you become familiar with the systematic approach of security testing IoT devices. The exam has been designed to assess a significant portion of the learning objectives covered in the course. As the exam is conducted entirely online, hardware hacking is not included in the assessment. In addition to the practical testing for security vulnerabilities, reporting is an important part of the exam. Documenting your findings in a structured manner helps with reproducing results, placing them in context, and effectively reporting them to vendors. The exam is not a race against the clock and is designed to teach you something useful, not to make you fail. For this reason, you are given enough time to complete the exam and your reports. If the final result of the exam is not sufficient to earn the certificate, you will be given a free opportunity to improve your report and pass the certification. At this time, the IoT Penetration Testing Essentials exam is only available as part of the course. It is currently not possible to purchase an exam voucher separately. If you're already enrolled in the IoT penetration testing course, you will soon receive information on how to register for the exam. If you're not yet a student but are interested in IoT penetration testing, be sure to check out the Virtual Hacking Lab's website. If you've made it this far in the presentation video, thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon in the Virtual Hacking Lab's IoT Penetration Testing Essentials course. If you have any questions about the IoT course, the exam, or anything else, feel free to contact me by email or LinkedIn.